Hi, it's Phil from Advanced Technical Services, and in this short video we're going to go through downloading data from the data loggers, setting the time slice, inserting the time markers, and using the device statistics. We're going to do this with a vacuum test on an autoclave for help getting us some information. So let's get started. So open the MadgeTech software. We've already deployed our data loggers, and so what we now need to do is just put them into our cradle. And we've got them all in here. Cool, so we select the first one, hold the shift key down, select the last one, and now we're going to stop them. Cool, now that they've stopped, we're going to press the download button, and that's now going to download the data. And you'll see we have two vacuum tests side by side. So I was running a test here. So we've got a little asterisk, so it's a good idea to start saving what we're doing before we lose any data. So let's save it externally to a file. So I've got this one called MadgeTech Training, and we'll call this vacuum test. Cool. The little star's gone away. As we start doing things, it's going to that little thing's going to pop up to say the data is unsaved. Okay, so what I want to do is we can lock this vertical scale here, so this keeps everything locked into position. And sometimes that's useful, sometimes it's not, but just be aware that that's there. So if I now get my horizontal zoom and zoom in here, it still keeps the horizontal scale there. Okay, coming back to fit to view is always really good. It gets everything back on here. So what I want to do is I want to interrogate this vacuum test here and see how much leakage we actually had on the machine. So what we want to do is turn time slice on. So if we come up here to the ribbon bar, we've got this one called time slice, and we want to enable it. And you'll see here now we've got this blue bar, and what if we hover over it, just a tip for young players, always come back to your select button, otherwise it's going to try and zoom if you don't quite get on there. And now we've got the little arrows. I'm just going to roughly drag it to where we want. Come over here, again, roughly drag it to where we want. Okay, so we know that the vacuum test is 10 minutes. I'm going to turn the lock scale off for a second, and we know that it finished the vacuum test the minute the vent solenoid opened. So what I'm going to do now is just do a horizontal zoom just around this point here. I'm going to come back to the select tool because it just makes it a little bit safer. And now I'm going to drag that so we're right on that cusp. I now know that was the termination point of the 10 minutes. I'm going to come back up to my time slice, and I know at 10:07:06, and so we want to be 10:57. I wasn't far off, and we want to be, I'm going to go 06. I think you need to be 1 second either side, and I'm just going to click up here just to get rid of that. Now if I fit to view, we should have, I'm just going to bear with me for a second. Cool. Now, I don't know if you noticed that, but that when I just went to set scale, it shifted the view. And intermittently, we've had issues where the screen doesn't line up. So if we just go to that set scale, and it's good that it happened on this because I can show you. You don't have to do anything and just go OK, and that will align the all the time markers back up. Cool. Now that we have that set, we come up to here, and we've got this one here called Generate Statistics View. And that's going to open a new tab, and now we've got up here, we've got 601 readings, and the duration here we go is 10 minutes. Cool, so 601 because we have the very first point, then we go for a second and get the next point, so that's why we have 601 to get our duration of 10 minutes. we've got the minimum, we've got the average, and we can actually just move those around so that the minimum is first, because that makes more sense to me. If we were interested in the average, we could chuck that in the middle here. I like to have that out. We can also add a statistic. So if we come up to here, we want change over time, and we want leak rate I want per minute, and we go close. And that's now added leak rate. Sorry, we're up here. Now, that there is such a minuscule amount, you'll see that's 10 to the minus 5. Cool. If we can take the standard deviation off here, I think, remove that, and if we wanted to get rid of the point count, we could remove that at this point to tidy things up. If you didn't want to see the average on a vacuum test, you could get rid of that as well and go close. So now we've tidied up this down here. So we can add them back in and take them off to our heart's content. And so now we know that it started the vacuum test at 0.2014 and it ended at 0.202, which is 1 millibar over the duration, which is very small. Okay, so again, these statistics aren't saved. I wouldn't necessarily save these unless you specifically wanted. They're always referencing this data here. So if you were to delete this data, your this would be blank. So make sure when you do things, you save them into your network. Go from there. So what we could do is we could add a time marker, and so they can be quite helpful. So up here we've got this one called time marker, and we can go add. We can call this test. I'm trying to think what the label is. Waiting start. I think it's holding actually. And I know that's going to be about, what do we say, 9:57. So I'm actually going to just put that in here just to make it a little bit easier. 9:57:06. Then we're going to add holding finish. And I know that was 10:07:06, I think, from memory, and we go close. And so we can now got those points labeled actually on our graph. When we print them out, it makes it a little bit clearer for the clients to see where we're getting our reference information from. So we've done the time slice, we've used the device statistics, and we've downloaded the data. So I think that's enough for this video. Thank you for your time.